you have any other questions?
Maybe it's a bit of a different topic, but so the conclusion I'm getting is that we need to acknowledge that there are different, or like acknowledge the exclusion. I was wondering, does that mean we have to teach everyone who doesn't understand yet about exclusion, we have to teach them what it is like? And if so, at what point do you do that? Because some people might think for children it's too early to teach them about exclusion and these things. Others might think we have to do it when they're children. Like, how do you to think about this?
Very difficult, but
I think, if I may, I think it's absolutely important for children. I mean, this is where, like, a lot of time our foundation is coming from. So the content may be like, I am not an education. I mean, I teach, but I don't create the content per se. So I think, like, who are working with, like, child education, they should have come up with, like, age appropriate content for children to think about discrimination, because they do that themselves. I mean, I hear. I mean, in Bangladesh, I used to teach, like, kids, and they would tell me all the time, "Oh, this is girly. Why did you do that? This is this and this is that." So they're already, like, part of the society. They have, like, like at the age of 2, I think they start developing their own opinion, and then or maybe even before that. Again, I'm not a child psychologist, but general understanding is, like, this is important. Fundamentally important that they learn some of these things, because it doesn't come automatically to you. It doesn't. It's not like, because the society doesn't tell you so. So it's not that if you say something about, you're a man and you say something about girl and they're weak or whatever, and they wear pink and they're stupid and they cannot drive, whatever, like, that maybe is coming from you, you don't think that's wrong. It's because you never had the education that taught you that this was wrong. So I think that is the basic. If that foundation is not provided, how could we expect a more critical engagement with this issue? That, like, no one can just fly if they cannot, even stand up, like, so yeah. So I think, like, yes, that fundamental education, sometimes they're problematic education too. The content is not, it's like basic, know that this discrimination exists, and to give example, they show a woman with wearing hijab, that kind of stuff. It's very, like, for me, it's very challenging to see, but I think it's important. I mean, I'm not the vector of what is absolutely right, So I do think there may be some materials that doesn't make me feel great, but they still should exist, like, this learning, some basic learning about, like, what exclusion is and how does it happen.
Well, I reminded that because in Japanese culture there is a bully. So in childhood, many small children, they had troubles with the bully at school or any community. So I think that that is also a very big social issue to solve as soon as possible. And then because of their maybe the disability, or because of their outfits, or because of their nationalities, or a lot of reasons, I think. But it's very sensitive issue, that because maybe I got a bully when I first came to Japan, but I didn't realize it myself. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
But when people who got the bullied, if he realized that, then it will be a very big problem or trouble.
Yeah, just to add to that, like, my last point would be, it's not just for children, but also, as I mentioned, like, where I'm coming from, like, in Bangladesh, even in engineering school, the undergrads, like, that's quite, like, that they're almost ready to vote, right? So it's like, as a citizen, you're becoming a sort of like a more aware member of the society, and they like whatever they're studying, they never think certain part of the social impact of whatever they're learning. If they're civil engineers and they're learning how to make buildings, they never think about who are going to use them, right? So I think it's not just designed for kids. Like this kind of basic understanding and basic whatever the content should be also provided to a large section of our community, because I keep hearing them from, even forget about undergrads, from my colleagues, many of my colleagues from my workspace, or previously when I was working on a nonprofit, that they don't have a clear understanding unless they're activists and they're really engaged with these issues. In general, they're not thinking much about it. So I think there has to be some sort of attitude shift. If we're expecting attitude shift, we need to think about it. It is not about, again, I think DEI kind of polluted this situation in a really sorry, sorry, but in a complicated way, that people now think that this is all about including certain community members, and it's tokenizing. They think this is all about tokenizing. It's a game of tokenization. I don't think that's where we should be. So yes, I agree with you. This kind of program is probably important, especially scuba, because of they have big presence of engineering and other scholar communities who never normally think about inclusion.
Yeah.
Otherwise, yeah.